Dzień dobry. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Assalamu alaikum. How are you today? You having a good day? Welcome for those of you who've never been here before. Thank you for coming. This is Ken at 10. We broadcast every day at 10 a.m. And the reason is my name's Ken and it's 10. We're estate agents based in southwest London, James Alexander Estate Agents to be precise, and we talk about all things property. How are you doing today? Here in Norbury, SW16, it is a little bit grey and overcast actually. Got lots on the agenda today. Good few landlords turning over to sales as well, deciding that now's the time to take advantage of the better market. So we've got so many instructions coming on. Good morning, guys. How are you doing? So yeah, lots of new instructions coming on. So a lot of our work today is around how we can present those properties as well as possible. We've had the pro shots taken. You know, we're excited about getting the videos together as well for you to present those to you. And also just making sure that the vendors are comfortable with what we've said. You know, we all had a little conversation with them along the lines of, well, you know, what sold the property to you? What can we tell other people about the property? What was the reasoning behind your purchase, or what is it that you really love about living there? You know, just as we can give buyers looking at the details an insight into something perhaps they don't know, or something that perhaps underlines the reason that they're buying as well. You know, people buy for different reasons, but generally you find that there's an echo. You know, somebody buys a property because it overlooks a beautiful green. Next person comes along and says, oh, wow, it overlooks a beautiful green. So you do tend to find that the reasons can be quite similar. In terms of the market generally, slight hardening, I feel. A few more first-time buyers struggling to get mortgages, and that's understandable in the current climate. I had a little bit of a rant about this yesterday, but I do think that first-time buyers, you know, my heart goes out to you if you're in that situation where you've struggled to save that deposit and you can't quite get there. I hope that the lenders will be forced to see sense and help people out on that one. In terms of the market generally, I said this yesterday, but I'll say it again. If you're thinking about selling, now is the time. And when I say now, I mean as soon as possible, because although you may think, oh, there's loads of time before that March deadline ends, there really isn't. If you think about it, if you got something live now, if you decided to instruct an agent now, you got it live even by the weekend. What would that be? The 19th of September, average sale time 8 to 12 weeks from receiving a buyer, and then from receiving an acceptable offer to you, and then the 4 weeks, 2 to 4 weeks to sell it in the first place. You're talking 16 weeks. That's 4 months. All of a sudden, that March deadline is looming, isn't it? And we got many sales already in the pipeline that are looking to hit that deadline and hoping to get in before Christmas. People see Christmas as a very finite point in time, and everybody wants to be relaxed and in their new home or have sorted out their problems before then. And obviously we want to help them get there. But solicitors are busy, lenders are busy, everyone's busy, you know. That's not an excuse. You know, we should all be rolling up our sleeves. And I think any good company right now should be saying, you know what, we've got to work a little bit harder right now, because things could go rather quiet after March 31st if he doesn't extend that deadline. I'm still optimistic that that might happen. Only time will tell, wait and see. I know there's talk about extending the deadline for the eviction of tenants, and I appreciate that for some tenants that's welcome relief, and for genuine tenants in those circumstances, you know, I get it, I absolutely feel for you. But also there are lots of landlords out there that rely on rent as income, and they are not, contrary to popular belief, on average very, very wealthy people. Sometimes they're people that have invested their life savings in a property, and that property provides their day-to-day living. In other words, if they don't receive their rent, they literally don't eat. I mean, you know, there are people in that situation. So it's not just tenants that struggle with this kind of thing, it's landlords as well. Most of our landlords are one-off landlords, and they found that they're sitting on a healthy income and they're using that either to supplement their pension or as their pension. And so my heart goes out to you if you've got a tenant that's not paying, you can't evict them at the moment. I understand that must be really frustrating. However, having said that, we find that tenants have been really good. And that is not an accident. We're very careful about tenant selection, as I've mentioned before. So, but our tenants are lovely. You know, I had a heartbreaking conversation I mentioned the other day with a tenant, and what we found was that they were having a really hard time of it. And I just said, look, you know, we'll do what we can to help. And in fact, what happened was that they were looking for work. The landlord happened to have some work, and we spoke to the landlord, and the landlord said, well, actually, I can give him 4 hours work a week. And that was lovely to see how, you know, you can help each other, to see that kind of mutual respect to the situation was really good. But aside from that, kids are back at school. colds are back, flu's back. Let's hope corona's not back in too many numbers. The rule of six is applying, which is a weird one, isn't it? That you can go out in a restaurant, but you can't go out more than 6 people, unless, of course, you're a metre apart, which is even more weird. Can you imagine you could go out with 18 people if you had a metre between each group? It's just a little bit confusing, isn't it? But apart from that, yeah, lots of new valuations still coming in this week. Lots of people inquiring, is it a good time? Should I move? I don't know. As far as I'm concerned, it's very rare you get to a point in time where you think it's a good opportunity. The reason I think it's a great opportunity is not just the fact that in the end, you can sell readily and you'll probably find a buyer relatively quickly. It's that there'll be the supply of property available for you to buy. And this has been the problem over the last few years, is many of our clients have sold their properties and then come back to us and said, Ken, there's nothing to buy. We can't find anything. And I always then come back with the usual retort, well, if you can't find what you're looking for, you've only ever got 3 choices. More money, which is not an option for most of us. Lower your sights, maybe look at a house without a garage or without parking, or other areas, i.e. areas around the surrounding area that you look at. And many people have taken that on board and tried it, but it doesn't always work in a market where there's not much available. If you look nationally, people are actually paying down their debt. They're battening down the hatches. Many people are thinking, actually, what I want to do is make sure that myself and my family are financially secure in what could be a tough second wave. And you could understand that. And for that reason, I think after March, we'll see a massive drop off in the supply of property for both sale and the onward purchases will be restricted as well for the same reason. So you will find that it'll be a tougher time to buy and sell after then. Not just about the pricing, because actually, I was having a conversation with someone yesterday, if you sell at 500 and you're buying at the same price in another area and you don't have a mortgage, for instance, or your mortgage is quite low, it doesn't really matter if you sell for 300. As long as you can buy what you want for 300, it's paper money, isn't it? It's just theoretical money that's moved from one address to another. And so rather than get hung up all over the actual price, you should be hung up all over the reasons why you want to move and whether it's right for your lifestyle right now. I don't think you should be pushed just because of stamp duty, because you know what, if the market does drop off after the stamp duty deadline, so what? If you've got equity, the one you're buying will also drop by that amount. And you could also argue quite successfully that any discount that you've made up by the stamp duty incentive is more than lost in the increase in prices. And that's also true. So I think you've got to balance it out. And the bottom line is you should move when it's right for you and your family, for other reasons just than because it happens to be easy right now. You've got to think, do I really want to do this? Is it the right time for me? Is it the right time for my family? Will it be easier later on? And if you're getting on in years, as many of us are, present company included, then it could be. My wife's just standing around and glared at me. Yeah, of course, you're not getting any older, dear. You're just, same age, always evergreen. But yeah, if you're thinking of that move and you're getting older, what you find is that as you get older, the move actually becomes harder. So if you are thinking of doing it and you're thinking, should I do it now or in later years, and you're getting on in years, then it could be a really good opportunity right now for you. If you're on with an existing agent, you're not having success, do have a chat with us, because we can analyze around what the marketing plans are, what they've done so far, what they could be doing better, and how we might be able to help. So I hope you have a good day today. That's it from Ken at 10. We'll be back same time tomorrow. Take care of yourselves and your families and stay safe. Ciao.